Loud girl. Okay, good morning. Happy Monday. How is everybody doing? Drop some hearts in the comments if you're like, let's go. I'm ready to accelerate my life. I'm ready to accelerate my business. If you are feeling the fire, if you are feeling the heat, if you are like the power of change is in the air for you, I want to know. So, last night, um, I shared with my accountability group, which is for people who are wanting to earn six figures, and we have a little group. Um, I shared about this movie that we watched as a family. It's called Unstoppable, and I really started thinking about success. And when people say, how did you build this business after losing your husband, after losing your mom, after losing your dad, all within a year? And not like, how did you do that? Like, that just seems so impossible, right? And if you would have asked me before any of that happened, I'd been like, yeah, there's no way that anybody could do that, let alone especially me. There's no way. And what I found is the answer is within our passion and our purpose. And the answer really lies with what our why is, why we're doing it. Your ego will fight tooth and nail to make the story that you tell yourself come true. It will fight tooth and nail to keep you safe. And the story that you tell yourself is this is scary. What if it doesn't work? What if this doesn't happen? It will fight to make that come true. And so that's why I became a personal growth junkie. I absolutely love it. You will see signs all over my office that say things like this: a grateful heart is a magnet for miracles. Gratitude creates happiness. I have all of these little signs all over my office that I read every day that I can see. I have a whiteboard that tells me lots of good things because I really do believe that the thoughts we think create the life we live. And the biggest lie that we're sold is that that's not true. The biggest lie that we're sold is that we're a victim of our circumstance, that there's no way out, that the life you're living right now is what God's plan was for you and you have to deal with it. I don't agree with that. My personal opinion is that God wants you to be in abundance. My personal opinion is that we are meant to be givers and receivers and to be blessing others in abundance. And you cannot do that when you're so self-focused on just surviving in your own family, right? And so what I want to talk to you today about is success. How do I get to be successful? Now, there are different reasons or different versions of what success is and what that looks like for each person. And I'm going to specifically talk today, not about the success of your family, not about the success of raising children, right? But the success of business, the success of how can I run a home-based business and become successful. If you're interested in this information, drop a 1 in the comments. Let me know you're here. Let me know your energy's vibing, that you're ready to go, because I want to share this with you. The first thing is you need clear goals and a vision. If you are just, I want to be diamond one day, or I want to be successful in whatever it is that you want to do. If you do not have a clear plan and a clear goal, it's going to be very, very difficult to keep on track. You're going to find yourself kind of being wishy-washy and I'll work when I want to, I'll work when I can, versus really setting specific measurable goals to see if you're actually progressing. So just like when you're really paying attention to your diet and a personal trainer would ask you to write down and track every bit of food that you eat, I would encourage you to track your business. Am I messaging people? Am I talking to people? Am I posting? How is that going? Really tracking it. Rachel was sharing with me that she really started tracking her social media using the professional dashboard. And I mean, it's shocking. Like it'll show you, I mean, she sent me a picture. It was like her views are up 248% from, yeah, up over 300,000. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. And so when you can track it. So Rachel could be sitting at home being like, man, it's just, oh, my social media is not working. And then it's like, but it is, right? So being able to track and see what's going on in your business, who you're talking to, all that kind of stuff. Clear goals and vision. Without vision, a man shall perish. That there are no true words spoken. If you are convinced that the life you have now is the best that there is, and you are just going, you're content to complain, okay? Now I'm assuming that you're unhappy with the circumstances that you're in, okay? If you're unhappy with the circumstances that you're in, or you have that feeling that there's just something more out there for you, then you have a vision. You want to grab a hold of that vision and make a decision, because the biggest thing I see is when people kind of waver in making the decision, right? It really slows you down. It really slows down momentum of success in any capacity. In any capacity. And so really making that decision of this is what I want, and I'm stopping at nothing until I get it. Number 2, I wrote down was continuous learning and growth. The key to success is really learning and growing. You need to invest in yourself. And by investing, I mean time. I tell my kids all the time, you're either spending your time, right? Maybe you're spending it playing a video game, or you're investing your time in listening to personal growth, in reading a good book, in spending time with your siblings, in spending time with your family, right? You're either investing or you're spending. And so when you think about investing your time, what are you doing with your time? And I don't know about you guys, but with little kids, sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just doing the monotonous day after day, well, especially when I first started Plexus and I couldn't afford any help. I was just in the thick of it, feeling like there's nothing, I can't grow in any way, shape, or form. Like it's just, this is this is my lot in life, and this is what's going to happen. And so what I slowly started doing is listening on Audible and listening to things and putting good word in my head, right? So whether it was a devotion, whether it was reading a really good book, whether it was listening to John Maxwell, I really started to pay attention to what I was thinking and what I was saying to myself. Number 3, and we're not going to get around this, is discipline and hard work. Okay. You cannot pray and walk away. You cannot just manifest and be like, well, where is it? You know, you have to put the hard work and discipline in. You can't just be like, Lord, help me lose weight, or I'm manifesting to lose weight, and wake up and still be eating cake at night and still be eating ice cream and just lose the weight, right? You've got to put the work in, the discipline. And can I tell you something that I have realized over 9 years of doing this is that there is beauty in the discipline. There is absolute treasures in the discipline. And we're going to talk a little bit about the discipline of systems in just a minute, but it is prioritizing your time and focusing on what matters most, making intentional use of the time that you have, discipline and hard work. It has to happen. Number 4, resilience and adaptability. Resilience is just my absolute number one thing that I think actually makes all the difference in the world is its resilience. You can slow down and you can come back a million times. And most of the time, the comeback is stronger than the setback, right? Because you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from a different place. You've learned different skills. You've learned a different mindset. And so resilience really is about, I'm not going to let this small thought that I have take me out of the game completely. I'm not going to let one situation completely take the results of my dreams away from me. Like, I mean, really think about that. Some of you guys have been on here and you've been with Plexus for a while, and there are things, right? Like there's failures that feel big, and there are things in life that feel like, wow, like what is happening and why did that happen? And or that really left me feeling bad or whatever. And it's like, why would we let those things take us out of the game for our dreams? for our dreams. Like the only person that is affecting is us. And so I really had to grow a backbone of resilience and understanding that we're not entitled to anything, right? And that we're going to have to do the hard work of showing up and learning resilience. And so that kind of leads me to sharing a little bit about this movie. So this movie is called Unstoppable, and it's about a one-legged wrestler who just, I mean, I was sobbing my eyes out because I just am so inspired by people that are underdogs, the person that looks like they shouldn't be able to do this, right? They have every reason, every valid reason to not do this, and they do it anyway, and they do it extra, and they do it above and beyond because there's just something there that's like, I'm not allowing my circumstances to define me for 1 second longer. And when you're watching these things, when you're watching the Rocky movies and you're watching, Unstoppable and you're watching Miracle and you're watching all these movies, there's a tendency to be like, oh, they're just going to win and they're going to win and they're going to win. And I love it when a movie actually shows the losses and the failures in between. And in this movie, this boy works his butt off. And when I tell you, I mean, literally go watch it. And if you don't feel inspired to work your business and stop complaining, I don't know what will. One of my very favorite memes that's on my phone that I send to my kids regularly is this Marine man, like super like tough, and he's standing there and he's clearly got one leg. And he says, the quote says, the person asks him, how are you so happy with one leg? And he said, why are you so unhappy with both? Come on. Come on. I mean, throw it down. Let's go. Stop complaining. Stop making excuses. That gets my heart going. That gets my fire going. That gets everything in me like, okay, let's do this. And so he is showing up 2 hours early to every practice. He is hiking up Arizona mountains with rocks in crutches to become mentally stronger. And he does all this stuff and he's bleeding and the team is just like, oh my gosh, like they're literally humbled and just so inspired by this boy who they were like, we're not even giving you a scholarship because you have one leg and there's just no way that you're gonna be able to do what we need you to do, even though he was like a champion. So he pushes through, perseveres, wins all the way to the top to the national wrestling match. And I don't feel like this is a spoiler, so you guys can still watch it, but he loses this match in like 3 seconds. Okay. Like we're not even talking like this long drawn out, it's a game that's going forever. He loses quickly. And what I love about this is it shows the process, right? It shows him get defeated. It shows him become discouraged. It shows him feeling like, I don't know if I can do this. He has all the affirmations in the world in his locker. He's got the posters up like, I'm a winner, I'm a champion. He's doing everything right, and he loses. Am I talking to somebody today? You're doing everything right, and you still have a failure. And his coach says, it's not. He goes, success is literally the sum of all the failures and mistakes and the messy parts in between that lead up to the success. What did you learn? Well, I went in too aggressive. I went in on that last match just wanting to win more than I wanted to wrestle the way I knew how. He lost all his technique, and I know nothing about wrestling, but he basically literally was just like, I let go of anything I knew because the moment the emotions overtook me and I just allowed myself to be self-sabotaged. And he's talking this through and he realizes in that moment, okay, and he has one more chance. He's one more year. He's a senior. He goes in, and I'm sure you guys can guess what happens. It's awesome. It's a true story. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. And it really just made me, I mean, I'm just, like I said, I'm sobbing. I'm like telling my kids, I'm like preaching to my kids that are watching this movie. They're like, let us just watch the movie. And I'm like, this is the key to success. It gives me chills. It makes me so emotional because I know it's true. I know it's true because I've done it. I've experienced it from a whole different capacity than I ever thought I'd have to. And when I see it on a screen and I can really like tangibly feel it. It's like if people only understood, you are not unworthy. You are not less than somebody else because you're not where you want to be yet. You are not, you are not everything that you're telling yourself. You are fully capable of doing whatever it is that you want to do. You are fully capable of firing yourself up and making a decision to change your complete life within a year. And I say that with absolute full confidence because I've watched it happen, not just for me, but over and over and over and over again. When somebody just makes the decision that I'm willing to work harder, I'm willing to work smarter, I'm willing to grow more than I'm willing to stay in my comfort zone, more than I'm willing to just accept defeat, more than I'm willing to believe that failure means something about me. That I don't feel like I deserve to be at the top. Well, how can I be at the top of the company? I don't know how to manage my time. How can I be at the top of the company? I'm not a tiny size 2 person. How can I be at the top of the company? I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not this. And we tell ourselves all these reasons why we don't deserve it. When the truth is, it's not about us anyway at all. It's not about us anyway in any shape or form, right? When I think about my biggest accomplishment with Going Diamond, it's who I became, but it's who I brought along in the process and who I continue to be able to impact because I kept hiking the mountain, even though I was losing limbs like crazy, even though I was getting injured on the way up, right? I was committed, not just because I wanted it. It turned into this is for all the people out there who are coming with me. This is for all the people out there who are struggling. This is for the widow in the back room who has no idea how she's going to put food on the table. This is for the mom whose husband is so stressed out financially that she's literally concerned about his health. Right? This is for the dad who wants more for his children, who wants to say yes. I'm doing it for those people. I'm not doing it just for me. I'm doing it so my kids can see hard things happen. You are not exempt. You are not exempt from hard things happening. But when hard things happen and you respond with a winner's attitude and you respond with I'm putting on I'm putting on my freaking wrestling gear and I'm showing up to this match because hard things happen and I know that how I respond, that is success right there. That is the success. Winston Churchill says this, and I literally say it to myself all the time. Success, this is mind blowing. If you will really let it sink in, success is going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. It's going from no to no without losing enthusiasm for what you're sharing. It's about going from people leaving, people winning, people losing without loss of enthusiasm. And for me, it was going glory to glory, right? It's like, it's that picture in my head that I would just picture is this is not about me. The only way to become unstoppable is when you're able to stop self-focusing. And the truth of it is that we don't even know that we're being self-focused because we think we're good because we are good people, right? And we don't think we are good people. But we become so self-focused. Can I do this? Can I do, it's like, well, hey, it ain't about you. I didn't get to Diamond because I did all the work. Come on, I'm talking to somebody. This ain't about you. It's about knowing that you're putting together a team, a dream team, and working together. And so many times we think I can't do this, or I'm incapable, or I don't know, or she's better at talking than I am, or she's better at this than I am. And really it's how can I become better? How can I become better at sharing the opportunity? How can I become better at sharing the products? How can I become a better mom? How can I become a better friend? How can I become a better leader? How can I become an influencer to influence for good? My calling completely changed from just providing for my kids and then wanting to help other widows and then wanting to help other moms and then wanting to help other families. And it changed completely into this world where I'm just like, I genuinely love what I do. I will never stop. I'm not doing this for the money. I'm not on this right here for the money. I'm making the money. I'm making the drug dealer money. And I can tell you that I'm showing up for this because I genuinely love it. I genuinely love it. And if you can't fall in love with the process of loving people and truly making impact, and I will never forget sitting there, as a mom of four little kids. At the time, they were 5 and under. I had a newborn when I signed up, and I listened to something, a YouTube something or a call or something. And I just remember like feeling like I just wanted to matter. I just wanted to do something that impacted people. And if I got to make money, that was exciting. But really, I remember telling Lisa, I was like, I just want to earn $1,000 a month to pay our mortgage because my husband was so stressed out and it was so stressful and money was such a thing. And it was like, I just want to earn $1,000 a month. And then it just kept going as I started to see the vision of what was possible for me. And one of the things that I feel like when you have one leg or when you lose a husband or when you lose something, when something significant happens in your life, you lose a job, you lose something, you know what it does? Because I was really thinking about that. It's like, why did it take that to really throw me into there's no holding me back, I'm unstoppable? It strips away the doubt and fear. It just does. It's like, I don't care what Sally Sue thinks of me. I've got to feed my kids. I don't care what redneck hunter down the road is saying about my pink drink. I don't care. Like I literally didn't care. It threw me into that world. And you don't have to have something hard happen for you to just get to that place. Who cares what anybody else thinks? Like genuinely, whether it's whatever it is, whether it's what school you want to send your kids to, or whether it's how many kids you want to have, or whether it's like, who cares? And I think really it's stripping away the doubt and fear. I want you to picture that. If I had zero fear and zero doubt, because I really feel like God graced me with that when Floyd died. It was like I all of a sudden just had zero fear and zero doubt. Like I was just like, well, here we go. I mean, I took some power tools and I started nailing crap to my wall. Like I was just like, I felt crazy, but I'm just like, I'm victorious. I'm a winner. I'm a boss. I was literally hyping. I was my own hype person. And I had every reason to roll back over and go to bed in the morning. And can I tell you that when it says the person a year from now is going to be so proud of you, I just wish I could go back and just freaking high five that girl who was terrified, who had no idea how she literally was going to feed her kids and said, "Oh hell no. I'm unstoppable because my kids are watching, because I have a team that I have committed to, because I know that I can. And if I believe that if I put the hard work in, if she can do it, so can I." And I'm here to tell you, if I can do it, so can you. But it's that decision of I have to allow myself to strip away all doubt and all fear. And ask yourself that question. If there was no doubt and there was no fear, would you post different? Would you show up different? Would you talk to people differently? Would you work more? What would you do differently if there was no doubt and no fear? Dolly Parton says, and I know, Woo! Dolly Parton says, I don't ever see anything as a failure. I was going to try and do her accent, but there's just no way. I can't do it. I don't see anything as a failure. I'm learning. And she's what, 80 something and still one of the top people of all time? Iconic. I think we picture successful people as lucky, as, oh, they just hit the jackpot. Oh, they just hit. It's like, no, they work through the crap. They work through the hard stuff. They keep going. They keep pushing through even when it feels hard. They keep showing up even when it feels tough. They're having the conversations. The success you're looking for is on the other side of conversations you're not having. End of story, period. Stop being afraid to tell people, dude, you'd be amazing at this business. Seriously. Hop on this call tonight. Ma'am, you would crush this. It is the most simplistic compensation plan I have ever seen. And it's my job. I have studied other compensation plans. I'm here to tell you, this is the most simple compensation plan out there. It allows a lot of people to make money. Having those business conversations, not being afraid, strip the doubt, strip the fear. Give yourself a 15-minute no fear zone. If I wasn't afraid, if I knew I couldn't fail, if I knew this person would say yes, would I message them? But we never do that, do we? We're like, oh my gosh, what if they say no? What if they burn me at the stake? What if they come hunt me down or post on social media that I'm a devil worshiper? Who knows, right? We say crazy things to ourselves. So we don't message that person and we just keep on going and we do something else. But what if, I always tell my new brand ambassadors, I always tell them, I wish I was braver sooner. That's my tip. Be brave sooner and just know you're going to go failure to failure. You're going, just like in parenting, you're going to go failure to failure. And then you're going to win. And then you're going to win. And then you're going to win. And when you win, there's nothing better. I mean, it's just I'm here to tell you, it's the best feeling. It's epic. You're up on the mountaintop and you're like, this is awesome. And you look around a little bit and you look at the view and you look at where you came from. And then immediately you're like, how can I get as many people up here? Because this is phenomenal. So don't make it about you. Let the doubts, let the fear go, and remember that you're doing it for the people that are yet to come too. And that business that you're looking for is on the other side of the conversations you're not having. You are deserving of every success that you can imagine. You can do the hard things. You can push through. You're awesome. I'm a super awkward ender. So, mwah, kisses, la, la ti da, bonjour, au revoir, goodbye.